I am your host, Christene Marie, and we are coming together for our daily morning A Course in Miracles lesson. I'm going to start with just a quick recap of a few lessons prior to today's lesson, lesson 37 for February 6th, and then we're going to dive into today's lesson. We're just going to start with lesson 21. I am determined to see things differently. Lesson 22. What I see is a form of vengeance. Lesson 23. I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. Lesson 24. I do not perceive my own best interests. Lesson 25. I do not know what anything is for. Lesson 26. My attack thoughts are attacking my invulnerability. Lesson 27. Above all else, I want to see. Lesson 28. Above all else, I want to see things differently. Lesson 29, God is in everything I see. Lesson 30, God is in everything I see because God is in my mind. Lesson 31, I am not the victim of the world I see. Lesson 32, I have invented the world I see. Lesson 33, there is another way of looking at the world. Lesson 34, I could see peace instead of this. Lesson 35, my mind is part of God's. I am very holy. Lesson 36, my holiness envelops everything I see. Lesson 37, my holiness blesses the world. This idea contains the first glimmerings of your true function in the world or why you're here. Your purpose is to see the world through your own holiness. Thus are you and the world blessed together. No one loses. Nothing is taken away from anyone. Everyone gains through your holy vision. It signifies the end of sacrifice because it offers everyone his full due. And he is entitled to everything because it is his birthright as a son of God. There is no other way in which the idea of sacrifice can be removed from the world's thinking. Any other way of seeing will inevitably demand payment of someone or something. As a result, the perceiver will lose, nor will he have any idea why he is losing. Yet is his wholeness restored to his awareness through your vision. Your holiness blesses him by asking nothing of him. Those who see themselves as whole make no demands. Your holiness is the salvation of the world. It lets you teach the world that it is one with you, not by preaching to it, not by telling it anything, but merely by your quiet recognition that in your holiness are all things blessed along with you. Today's 4 longer exercise periods, each to involve 3 to 5 minutes of practice, begin with the repetition of the idea for today, followed by a minute or so of looking about you as you apply the idea to whatever you see. My holiness blesses this chair. My holiness blesses that window. My holiness blesses that body. Then close your eyes and apply the idea to any person who occurs to you, using his name, saying, My holiness blesses you. Insert name. You may continue the practice period with your eyes closed. You may open your eyes again and apply the idea for today to the outer world if you so desire. You may alternate between applying the idea to what you see around you and to those who are in your thoughts, or you may use any combination of these 2 phases of the application that you prefer. The practice period should conclude with a repetition of the idea with your eyes closed and another following immediately with your eyes open. The shorter exercises consist of repeating the idea as often as you can. It is particularly helpful to apply it silently to anyone you meet, using his name as you do so. It is essential to use the idea if anyone seems to cause an adverse reaction in you. Offer him the blessing of your holiness immediately, that you may learn to keep it in your own awareness. Wow. Well, good morning. Thank you guys for joining. Matthew, no, this is a recording. I am reading, Beppy, I am reading A Course in Miracles. We just hop on here every morning and read through this. Every morning at 8:30 a.m. I was, I think, 2 minutes late this morning. Mike, Tenshi, thank you for joining. Kishore, NJ. I am from, actually, right now, I'm just outside of Frederick, Maryland, but I grew up in Gaithersburg. Axel, Oh my. Thank you for joining. RTD, thank you. You're so kind. Matthew, I am live actually right now. Um, Tommy Pickles, Noah, y'all. See Martin Love. I'm so glad to see you. Um, People find that closing their eyes leads to a dark void or sleepiness. Keeping them open maintains wakefulness and allows you to project ideas. Oh, I just lost it. Allows you to project ideas onto the space in front of you like a second monitor. Interesting. I need to practice that. Y'all, it is interesting though, in terms of like projecting our ideas with intention. I love that you said projecting our ideas because I do think that there is something about that. Before I get into it, Lou Becker, um, Prime Rays, Dilbert, good morning, 1491 North American. I'm just outside of Washington, D.C. I'm in Frederick. Aunt Peggy McDowell, good morning. Hello. Sammy, oh, I'm so glad to see you. Oh, please, please know Sammy is getting transferred and we are all here watching you. Oh, thank you, Sammy. I'm so glad to see you. Y'all, this chat, it has really become a place that I really appreciate, and there's a sacredness to, and I don't say that word lightly. It really is like there have been people who have come into the chat like Sammy who are really struggling, and us taking the time to encourage each other and kind of love on each other. There's so much pain in this world. Sammy joined a couple weeks ago for the first time and shared that it was the anniversary of when he broke his neck and became a quadriplegic, and he's been joining in the mornings with his nurses. And so Sammy just piped up here, and I just wanted to encourage all of us to remember that this chat and every day, every moment, we get to encourage each other and come alongside each other in the fight for why are we here? What is the purpose? And even last night, as I was going to bed, my best friend called me and he was asking this question. He's like, why do you think we're here? Like, what's the point? And we just went back and forth. And, I shared why I thought, and he shared the questions kind of against it. I guess you could say countering it, which was good. And it was a good conversation. And at the end of the day, so much of it comes down to love. Like, I believe that we do not understand the full breadth and meaning and healing that is in love, to allow for ourselves to be transformed through and in love, to then be able to really, really give to other people. Even this. Okay, here's what I'm going back to the message or the lesson from today. Um, those who see themselves as whole make no demands. That line really got me, because how often are we living just really needing other people to come fill the void in ourselves, versus we've done the work. We've done the work to heal, and we ourselves are filled with love. So then we can give love to other people. And we have this like deep well, this reservoir from which we pull, and then we can really tend to other people and love on them. Chinese checkers, Frederick is nice. Where do you live? I guess if you know Frederick is nice, then you're close. Snapshot chicken. I don't think so, but I think I know how to have a good time. But thank you, Justin H. Prime Rays. C. Martin Love. Thank you. I love yours. I feel like you've always got something really, really. You've got always such good contributions and comments. So I'm really grateful. Vishal. Yes, I'm actually on 4 different channels right now. I've got 2 YouTubes though. That's partially why I'm like answering people who you don't see. Let's see. Lou, it is not the 60s. Mike Tenshaw. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Deadman, thank you. Thanks for coming on here. The goal today is to actually the goal every morning. So I go live every morning at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. And the goal every morning is that we read a lesson from A Course in Miracles and just chat about how is it that we can strengthen our minds, really be coming from a place where we ourselves are then able to be strong and give to other people. Guys, each one of us is a leader. Each one of us has the opportunity to to be alchemizing our pain, alchemizing our position, our environment, our circumstance to lead and love well, whether it's leading our family or whether it's loving our family or going and showing up to work and really being the best that we can. Even the other day, someone was saying like their parents were getting on them about cleaning their room, and it's like, well, let's do it now. Let's do it together. Like, let's continue to push each other to be the best version of ourselves. And it's funny, last night we had the Knowing Show. So I'll go live every morning, 8:30 a.m. to talk through A Course in Miracles, and then every evening at 8:30 p.m. And we'll just hang out together. Sometimes there'll be a guest. But for the most part, the evenings are really dedicated to the cultivation of intellectual intelligence, emotional intelligence, whereas in the morning we talk more so about the spiritual intelligence and physical intelligence, because every part of us has data. Every part of us has something that we then can derive intelligence from, because our body remembers, our body keeps the score, as authored by Bessel van der Kolk, who was the psychiatrist who coined the term PTSD. And so our bodies remember, our minds, our souls, our spirits, every part of us has data. And the goal of the Knowing Show is to learn how to turn it online. So we do that with guests coming on, and then also just honestly us all doing the work together. Blitz Challenger, hello from Moscow. I wish that would be cool. I actually, what's so funny, you asked, do I speak Russian? And I just found, I was downstairs and I saw this like Russian to English dictionary. So who knows? Clearly Russian's been around me for the last 24 hours. Rebecca, oh wow, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate that. Dominic, good morning. Matthew, there are a lot of significant, I completely agree, there are a lot of significant miracles. There are so many miracles. Highlanders, thanks for coming on here. We're talking about, so today's lesson is my holiness blesses the world. And I love this. So much of this book so far over the last, we're on lesson 37, we're on the 37th day of the year. And so much of what has led to this point has been kind of dismantling and undoing old programs, because we can't learn something new and create a new program and a new way of thinking inside us until we do away with the old. And so much of the last 36 days has almost been like bringing us to a baseline where it's like, okay, I'm not going to think that way, but then what do I replace it with? Yesterday, I was doing one-to-one, I guess you could say coaching with a woman. And the goal isn't to just stop thinking about what we're thinking about or stop doing what we're doing, but replacing it with something. Because if we don't replace the old with something new, we will inevitably make a whole big loop and just start repeating the same behavior or thought process again. We have to set a new target. And so with that, my holiness blesses the world. Like, how cool that you and I have the opportunity that by going to Starbucks, by going to work, by going to anywhere, the grocery store, we have the opportunity to bring holiness with us and to bring life and joy with us. And we have a lot of power. Like, our presence really does change the room. I'd love to know, who here has ever experienced that? Who here has ever experienced where they walk in and they can tell that there's a shift, or even maybe you've got a friend who, man, they light up the room or they bring the room down. Like, I think we all know those people, and we have, each one of us, the opportunity to do that. And that's awesome. Like, that is actually a high, it's kind of like a high, I don't really know what the right word to say. It's kind of a high responsibility. So then the question is, because that's our opportunity to step into that role, what are we going to bring into the room? It's Friday. So Friday evening, how are we going to show up at whatever our plans are, whatever we're doing? And that's kind of cool. Like, we get the opportunity this morning, or for whatever time zone you're in today, in this moment in time, to project, to see Martin Love, what you were saying earlier, to identify, this is how I want to project out. This is what's inside me, and this is what I want to project out into the world. And the one line that really got me from today's lesson: those who see themselves as whole make no demands. Your holiness blesses others by not asking, and by asking nothing of them. And so my goal for today is, actually, my sisters and I will sometimes text each other our intentions. And my goal today is that I'm so filled up that I can just overflow and give to everybody, and that I'm not coming from a subconscious place of need. And there's something really beautiful about actually coming into relationship and being like, I think I need love today, or I need whatever I need. So I might need tender loving care. I might need someone to help me really see what is going on because I'm confused. I very often need things in relationships, but the goal is that it's conscious. I have first tended to myself, and then I recognize what my needs are. I meet them, or I can ask someone else to come alongside me and help meet them as well. So, are we aware? Are we conscious of what our needs are, how we're going to show up, how we want to show up, and what we can give? Or are we coming in with kind of this subconscious bunch of needs and burdens that are kind of that's what's then projected out towards everybody else? Mark, good morning. Weave Dog, Highlanders. Thank you so much for saying that. Sammy, we're praying for you. Highlander says that we're praying for Sammy. Um, Kate, thank you. Thank you for coming on here. From your picture, it looks the same. um, oh my. Sea Trail. I do. He says, "Do you have a male boyfriend?" I do have I do have a boyfriend. Mark says, "To grow old and to live our best life. That's why we're here." It's so funny. So that conversation I was having last night of like, what's the reason why we're here? Even I told him this, and I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts about this. I told him, even if there's no life after this, I want to live the most potent life I can now. Because if there's no life after, then great. I used the best use of my life that I have here on earth. The most I made the most of it. I lived fully. I lived experientially. I gained as much joy as I possibly could from it. I grew, I cultivated myself. But if there is a life after this, I want to steward this one so well and prove that I can handle more in the next. So either way, I want to live and show up the very best I possibly can. I want to love so well. And as we were talking about what's the why are we here? When we talk about love, there's 7 different Greek words for love that in English, it's just summarized into one word. There's such dimension and so much behind the meaning of love that's so nuanced and so broad and deep that we haven't really explored. And so I think that might even be a good conversation for us to have on the Knowing Show if you guys are interested in chatting about that. Okay. I'm just scrolling down here. Corcel, much blood bank at dawn from Argentina. Interesting. Oh, you went to a blood bank at dawn in Argentina to get I'm assuming you got your blood drawn. But good for you. I have never been to Argentina. I actually would love to go. Platinum, good morning. Justin, yes, I am live on 2 different streams. Let's see, just scrolling down. Dylan Morrow. He also created you. I believe that. Sammy, we're so glad you're here. Sammy's nurse says, please, please know you talking for Sammy and us makes such a difference, and you help Sammy with your voice. Please know. Y'all, God bless you, Sammy. We love you. We're with you. All right. All right. I'm just kind of scrolling down through here. See, Martin Love says, eyes wide open decision. Making means having the courage to see all options and their consequences clearly, allowing you to choose what aligns with your whole self. Oh, I love that. Eyes wide open decision. Okay, this is so good. Eyes wide open decision making means having the courage to see all options and their consequences clearly, allowing you to choose what aligns with your whole self. I love that. See, Martin Love, the thing that I'm thinking about in order what comes before that, we talked about this a couple nights ago on the Knowing Show. I think that so much of what allows for us to have eyes wide open decision making comes from a place of like actually being at peace with ourselves, where we're not moving so quickly in the world. We're actually coming from a place of peace, and we're coming from a place of kind of like leaning into, okay, well, how do I want to show up today? I'm aware of who I want to be. I know the impact I want to make. And then when we're faced with a choice, Viktor Frankl, who wrote Man's Search for Meaning, says between stimulus and response is choice. And whenever there's a stimulus, we have a choice in that moment to pause, to consider, who do I want to be? How do I want to show up? And then we can make, to see Martin Love's point, an eyes wide open decision where we're bearing the consequences, we're considering all outcomes, and then also conjuring up the courage to then act and make that response in alignment with who we want to be. Y'all, this morning, every morning that we get on here is part of what I call vertical alignment. It's part of taking our mindsets, our beliefs, our behaviors, our actions, the way we view the world, and bringing it all these disparate pieces all into alignment, so that one, we act with congruence, but two, that we ensure that we're showing up in alignment with who we want to be. So it's kind of like, think of it as the line throughout a pyramid. You've got all these disparate parts within a pyramid, but then bringing it into alignment is like the through line, the pyramid, and at the pinnacle of the pyramid is our ideal, who we want to be. And that's the hierarchical order under which we bring all of our parts into submission to our ideal. And that ideal is under who God says we are. And because the thing is that, let's say you and I don't actually have a high ideal for ourselves, and we've been really influenced by the cruel words other people say about us, or other people being unkind, or others saying we're not worthy. Well, then we're actually going to be bringing ourselves into alignment under something that isn't our own potential. So when we then have even a higher superordinate principle to which we look, and then we make ourselves submissed to that, and we're like, okay, God, well, this is who I think I am. Who do you see I am? Say I am. And then all of a sudden our minds blow open and we're like, holy crap, I didn't know I could be that amazing. I didn't know I could be that strong. I didn't know I could be that impactful. That I didn't know that potential was mine. And it's so exciting. So yes, it's our own ideal, but the goal is that our ideal matches what God says, and that our ideal is big enough. Y'all, the quote on the back of my phone says this: the greatest danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. That's by Michelangelo. We don't want to be setting our sights too low. We don't want to be setting the target and aim and dreams for our lives to a point where it's actually achievable. We want to make it so high so that we're constantly having a mission. We're constantly having a reason why we're doing what we're doing, because our dreams are so big and so lofty. And so with that loftiness of dream, we thus live a lofty life, because we either rise to meet the level to which our dreams are requiring us to be, or we lower our dreams so that we don't have to change. I'm just going to take a quick moment here in the chat. Biak, Rawa, I grew up in Gaithersburg. My family, of origin, is from Germany, France, and England. Nowhere super exotic, unfortunately. Robert, thank you. Squazzy, thanks for joining. Costa. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Costa. You just made my morning. I appreciate that. Dylan, we don't want our will. We want God's will. Whatever it may be, we should ask daily to serve. It's so interesting. I think that at the end of the day, when we actually are aware of our own potential, who God made us to be, that inevitably aligns us with his will. And then the things we desire, we can actually trust. There's this verse that says, delight yourself in the Lord and he will give you the desires of your heart. If we're delighting in all that is pure and holy and good and desirous and lovely, our desires are going to align with that. And by so doing, our minds change and our hearts change. And then we desire and long for things that are great and grandiose and so much bigger and better than we could have ever dreamed of on our own. And then I believe that we get it. What we think about becomes so much of what we experience in life. And so the question then is, okay, what are we intentionally dwelling on? This Course in Miracles, it wants us to do 4 3 to 5 minute practice periods every day. And I read that this morning and I'm like, oh, that's a lot. But you know what? I really want to do it because when I've done these practice periods, I feel like I'm being changed in real time. I'm deploying this lesson and it's helping me. It's serving as guardrails for how I act throughout the day. It's reminding me that, man, when I'm whole, when I'm good, I then can bless and give freely to other people. rather than subconsciously needing them to bless and give to me. It reminds me that literally who I am really has power, and thus let me take great responsibility in that. Um, Teddy, good morning. I'm so glad you're here. Um, Sammy wants to connect and write you and say hi, as you really help and inspire, as Sammy is so broken with his diagnosis. Sammy, thank you so much for your note. If Sammy would like to, I do these one-to-one conversations. I just did one yesterday. And I would love to have him. Actually, there's two ways if Sammy wants to connect in person, and then there's other ways if he wants to write me. He can write me at my email is me@christenemarie.com. Just make sure you spell Christine E-N-E. So me at Christene Marie. He can write me there, and then he and I can talk through different ways if he wants to work together in an ongoing way. I would love to support him on a regular basis. But otherwise, Sammy, it just means so much that you're here. Dylan, the Father saw in many saw him in his physical form. And NASB 1995. I've never heard of that. So I'm actually going to write that down because I don't know what that version is. But let me write that down right now. NASB 1995. Thank you, Dylan. All right, just looking through. All right, y'all. I'm getting a lot of comments around my teeth. I'm just going to call that out. I've never, until the Knowing Show, had people talk about my teeth so much. I don't know. It's how I was made. But literally up until the Knowing Show, I've never known that about me. All right, I'm just scrolling down to see if there's anything of okay, our consciousness itself is a reflection of God. If we want it and ask, he will bring us to him in all many ways. God's holiness blesses the world through us. We are not God, men are the glory of God. I love that. God's holiness blesses the world through us. Isn't it so, guys? It's so cool. It is so cool how much power we have. It's like unheard of. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. They don't, for those of us who grew up in a religious environment, I did, they didn't tell me that. They didn't talk about how much power you and I have to bless the world, to impact the world, to change the world, to be like God in this world, to be God in this world. God's in us. And so we have the opportunity to have God love and make healing in and through us. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and jump off. I actually am going to go to my dad's. We're going to do a whole knowing intensive day. A knowing intensive is, I've got all these different like manifestations of knowing. One of them is a retreat where people come together. One of them is I'm actually working with my dad for the next 2 days on his business and helping him know who he is, which is like the biggest honor of my life. So I'm so excited to do that. I will be back on tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And I'm looking forward to seeing you all soon. So in the meantime, have such a wonderful day. And remember, my holiness blesses the world. Y'all, you have the opportunity to bring such a blessing to every single person you interact with. You have the opportunity to bring a blessing to yourself and to be what you need today. So with that, cheers. I'll talk to you.